Do you shoot video/photo in portrait or landscape? Which and when? I love this talking point.
Do you? Well, I want to fight you on the video aspect.
Okay, do you want me to answer first then?
Let's go video first. Go.
Well, video first, always shot landscape, but last year at a WNBL game, I believe it was, the first time I've ever shot purely portrait, so vertical, because that was the only format I was going to be using it for. I was filming for myself. It wasn't a client job. And the only purpose was Instagram Reels and I think I had a few highlight packages. So I actually really enjoyed it because I feel like shooting with purpose, we've talked about that before. If that's the only reason you're shooting it, you don't need to shoot in 4K, because when you're shooting landscape, shoot 4K to pump it up to the real 9x16 specs. If you just shoot in 1080p and shoot vertical, you save space and
You do.
And you're shooting for purpose, but I can tell you disagree. So hit me.
I was about to say, like, I don't agree with you, but you did almost save me when you said, like, shooting with purpose. It's a great sort of.
So
concept.
why don't you like it then?
I don't know if it's I don't like it. That's a very, very strong term.
Well, you
don't.
Well,
I mean, don't like. Not really. I hate it.
Elaborate.
So
yeah.
So when Michael said we've only ever done landscape, both of us, and similar to him, he basically went to an WNBL game, did that, and then the next, I think it was WNBL game for me as well. I trialed it, but I trialed it for like, I reckon 2 like possessions, and I was like,
Why? Why didn't you like it?
I don't know. I think it was definitely just like, in the back of my mind, I couldn't help but to think, even if you are shooting with purpose and you're like, this is going Instagram only, but what happened if you just get some sort of, I don't know, crazy good shot, celebration, bucket, anything, and then for whatever reason, WNBL hits you up, needs some footage for like broadcast, and you're like, oh, that would have been like the most epic shot for the broadcast thing, and I've only got it in portrait, and for what?
Yeah.
Like for what? It's like you can still, I create reels all the time with landscape footage, like everyone does, so my thing is just like, why limit yourself to those possibilities if
it's a compelling argument.
I just think like, I just don't know if the positives outweigh the negatives. The positives is what you might, so the definition.
Save space.
Actually, the definition is only better if you're shooting in, there's like I've just completely forgotten.
1080p.
1080p. So if you're shooting in 4K anyway, it doesn't really matter, right? Well, if you're shooting in 1080, like 1920 by 1080, if you're doing that, you stretch it a bit to make it real size, 9x16. But
well, it's almost double. You're stretching at 180%. So you're losing.
Yeah, so you lose quality.
You're almost losing 100% quality, which I feel like a lot of people don't actually think about.
But I also will say, does Instagram compress it when you actually upload?
It does a little, but you're still, like, do you even think about that? Like, 180%, scaling at 180% is massive when you think about it.
True. Is that actually factually correct?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, you don't know the number you're scaling every time. What do you do? Just expand it in Premiere?
Sorry, no, yeah. Oh, you mean literally, yeah, I suppose that makes sense, right?
Well, but that's a lot.
Yeah, no, that's a lot.
I just don't think we actually think about it.
But I will say, do a test, whether we do it or whatever, do a test with like shooting portrait, shooting landscape. Obviously, I don't know how people on YouTube do that. Sometimes when it's the exact same like shot, I suppose it's just them in their studio or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you had a basketball shot and you're like, lay up in portrait, lay up in landscape, stretch it to real size or keep it at real size, put it back to back on Instagram, because on Instagram I don't know what it does to it. Would you be able to tell the difference? I'm not sure you would.
I think you would, in that when you're shooting portraits, so vertical, the say a basketball layup or a basketball dunk, you're shooting with the real specs in front of mind. So like you're going to go a bit further back, I think, because you're not going to punch in as much if you're shooting wide. And it's actually going to look better, I think. And it's actually, I put up a reel about doing both. It's more difficult to shoot vertical, in my opinion.
No, yeah, that's
more rewarding. Oh, it's a part of it.
More
too
rewarding.
difficult. Well, more rewarding because if you nail it, you know it's more difficult, and
because it's a stupid spec, and if you do it, you're like, well, this is really no. I get like it is definitely more difficult. Like even just panning, I was just like, what are you kind of? It's just awkward with your arms when you're so used to one way. But anyway, I think it's a good trial. It's good that you test it.
Yeah, it's a funny one though, because you say it's awkward doing vertical portrait, but you do that for photos, right?
But you're not like, you pan, but you don't have to be as steady.
It's the same thing though.
Yeah, you don't have to
you still
people.
move.
Yeah, but people know. Like you could take a portrait photo like that, if that is perfectly direct. You could take it like that. No one's gonna really know. Like,
change
you
it.
Like just change it in post, or it doesn't really matter because it's basketball or sport, and they're kind of moving anyway.
So I mean, and to answer the photo bit of this, I'll always shoot. Oh, I've actually started doing some landscape, but 80% of the time portrait.
Really?
Well, I think sometimes in landscape, if you're at the back of a stadium or whatever, you're like, hang on,
Yeah.
why not?
No, true. Well, it's the same thing. You can crop it if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Oh,
I've
yeah.
actually done that. Some shoots I've shot purely landscape because of the few that might hit home and the rest I'll just crop.
Yeah, I think the framing aspect of portrait is kind of fun to do as well. Like I still take a fair bit. I swear there was some like big NBA content creator that was like they mainly shoot portrait only photos.
Well, I think that's pretty normal.
Did you
Or do
say
you-
landscape?
Well, no, I typically shoot portraits at
Oh.
vertical.
Sorry, I thought you said
For
80%
an
landscape.
NBL game, you'd shoot portrait, right?
I still do bits of both, but I thought you said 80% landscape. Rewind. Nah.
No, 80% portrait.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Good
So
question though.
it's a good question. So which and when I would probably never use video, photo. I reckon I'd almost 60% portrait, maybe.
Is it that
Photo.
Yeah.
Photo. I don't know if you
And-
actually think about it, but I could be wrong. I could be 50-50.
Yeah, and for me, basically the same as Darren, but I do like the thought of shooting with purpose more. But it is a good point if you're shooting like a big basketball game and you miss that opportunity for a promo shot, you've
just
you've
like-
stuffed it.
You got to be versatile in what your footage can be used